Hello and welcome to Bounding into Comics. My name is John Trent. I'm the founder and editor-in-chief at Bounding into Comics. Today I got a story about a rumor claiming a Joker sequel is in development, despite director Todd Phillips previously saying no sequel was in development. Before we get to the meat of the story, let me please ask if you could please hit that subscribe button if you are not already subscribed. If you are already subscribed, please make sure you are still subscribed. And then hopefully by the end of this video, I will have earned your like and you will give us a like and that you will share this video with your friends and family. So let's get to the meat of this story. Like I said, a new rumor claims a Joker sequel is in development with director Todd Phillips on board to co-write. This new rumor comes from The Hollywood Reporter's feature article counting down the top Hollywood lawyers. In their slot on Warren Dern, they claim, quote, Todd Phillips struck a deal to co-write the next Joker installment, end quote. They do not provide any other details. That is the gist of this rumor. And it follows up on another rumor from The Hollywood Reporter just a couple of months ago, where writers Tatiana Siegel and Boris Kitt included a small line in an article about Warner Brothers' upcoming Superman film from producer J.J. Abrams. In that article, they wrote, so far, every movie and TV show, with the exception of Matt Reeves' The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson and set for release in March, HBO Max's spin-off Gotham PD and Joker and its planned sequel will take place in the same universe. So that is the gist of that rumor. They just literally Joker and its planned sequel. Interestingly enough, The Hollywood Reporter previously claimed a Joker sequel was in development back in 2019, only to be rebuked by director Todd Phillips. So back in November 2019, The Hollywood Reporter ran a story by Tatiana Siegel with a headline proclaiming, quote, Joker sequel in the works as Todd Phillips eyes more DC origin movies. In the body of the article, Siegel claimed, Warner's has sequel option in place for Joker star Joaquin Phoenix. She also detailed that Phillips had a meeting with Warner Brothers chairman Toby Emmerich, claiming he pitched a package of origin films based on DC Comics characters. Phillips would rebuke the story in an interview with IndieWire. He said, I can honestly say to you there was no meeting that ever happened on October 7 where I marched in. First of all, if you know me and my career, that's not my style. I made a huge comedy at Warner Brothers, The Hangover, and I didn't suddenly become a comedy factory producer like, oh, let's just churn out movies. Bradley Cooper and I have a production company at Warner's. I've been at Warner's for 15, 16 years. We have 2 things in development at all times, not 40 things like some people. I'm not the kind of guy who goes marching in saying I want these 40 titles. I just don't have the energy. He went on to provide more information. He said, when I pitched them Joker, it wasn't a movie. It was, let's do a whole label. They shut that down quickly, and I get it. Who am I to walk in and start a label at a film studio? But they said, let's do this one. As for a sequel, he told IndieWire, well, a movie doesn't make $1 billion and they don't talk about a sequel. Joaquin and I have publicly said we've been talking about a sequel since week 2 of shooting because it's a fun thing to talk about. He then specifically claimed the THR article by Siegel from November 2019 was untrue. Phillips said, but the THR article was referring to other things than that were just frankly untrue. I don't know how it gets started if it's some assistant trying to gain street cred with a writer. He then added, here's the real truth about a sequel. While Joaquin and I have talked about it, and while touring the world with Warner Brothers executives going to Toronto and Venice and other places, of course, we're sitting at dinner and they're saying, so have you thought about? But talking about contracts, there's not a contract for us to even write a sequel, and we've never approached Joaquin to be in a sequel. Will that happen? Again, I just think the article was anticipatory at best. Previously, Phillips had said there were no plans for a sequel. As reported by IGN in September 2019, he said, quote, we have no plan for a sequel. However, he also told Total Film, one thing I will tell you, I would do anything with Joaquin any day of the week. There's nobody like him. If he was willing to do it and if people show up to this movie and Warner's came to us and said, you know what, if you guys could think of something, well, I have a feeling that he and I could think of something pretty cool. So that was before Joker even really hit theaters. He's promoting the film before it landed in theaters in 2019. As for these recent rumors from The Hollywood Reporter, Phillips has not publicly commented on them. But in one of his more recent Instagram posts, he doesn't post a lot, this one was from October 2020, he did thank fans for their support and shared a number of behind-the-scenes photos. He said, "A big thank you to all of you who have loved and supported this film, and Arthur, since we first released the original camera test. You all helped turn this film into what it ultimately became, and for that, I will always be grateful." End quote. Joker made $1.072 billion at the global box office. It brought in $335.4 million and at the domestic box office, and $737 million at the international box office. The movie did not screen in China. It currently has an 88% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes from their verified audience, but a 90% from their all audience score. On IMDb, the movie has an 8.4 out of 10. It has a 9.0 user score on Metacritic. Needless to say, it was a popular film, and people more than likely went to see it multiple times, given that box office gross and it not screening in China. But let me know, what do you make of this rumor? Do you think there's any validity to it? Do you think it's The Hollywood Reporter just doubling down on their debunked article from 2019 that Todd Phillips rebuked? Let me know what you think. Do you think a Joker sequel is in the works? Or do you think this Joker sequel could potentially be part of that label that Phillips had originally pitched, and it might be another DC villain film in the works? Let me know. My name is John Trent, and you've been watching Bounding into Comics.